so you can just apply pressure. Or do you have any other thought about that, maybe, Red?
I think that the real thing here is so many of these bases require so much time to get to the point. It takes so, it's not a 15-second run. It's as much to a minute run on some of these things. You can't come in with 60 seconds left on the base. You won't even make it to the point in time, regardless of who's there defending. That is, your platoon leads and squad leads have to be aware of that when they're redeploying. What base are you currently over right now?
I'm currently over Gurney Dam, just looking at the dam because we were talking about that. But I do think time is moving on, so we need to have a ref speech from Justicia, just to lay down the rules of the law to all our players. And then after that, we will just go into our end game and get ready for the game itself.
All right, I'll do it right now. Hello everybody, this is Justicia speaking on all call. Please pay careful attention as I go over the match rules. All participants should have already been informed about these. I will be the game referee for the match. I have a final say on all matters of the event. All concerns during the event should be brought to the attention of your server rep, who will then bring the matters to me. Server reps for today are Ghost Marauder for Connery and Negator for Emerald. The game referee is responsible for timekeeping of the event and is also responsible for tallying the final score. The objective of today's match is to capture as much of Hassan as possible within a 2-hour time limit. The winner is the server with the most territory at the end of these 2 hours, as determined by the in-game territory control graph. There is no overtime. There are no immediate gameplay restrictions, so play the game as it is meant to be played. The shield generator guarding the point at East Aiken Storage Depot has been destroyed before the match to ensure equal access to Aiken Biolab. Every player should have their character number listed before their name on TeamSpeak. So for example, if your character is Silversmash TR 316, you should put the number 316 in front of your name on TeamSpeak. Also, do not delete any characters from the account you have been given. If you do delete one, we cannot simply recreate it with battle rank and certs, and you will not be given another account, and you and your outfit may face further consequences. If you have any problems with your characters or accounts, please report them to your server rep so we can keep track. All participants are required to remain on the event continent of Hassan during the entire match. You may not leave to a different continent for any reason, and if you have account problems or need to be replaced, you need to contact your server rep. Reserves must check in with the server rep before subbing into the game. Cheating, using exploits, hacking, or real-life enemy team sabotage may forfeit the match for your entire server and could disqualify your outfit or server for participation in future Planetside Battles events. The match will start at the top of the hour. You will receive a countdown notice on all call from me, and you're not allowed to leave the warp gate until then. So get ready and best of luck.
Why don't you tell it how?
Come again?
I'm sorry, I was just saying, how long have they got left? Is it 3.5 minutes roughly?
Yeah.
Okay. So, with that in mind, 3.5 minutes Red, we were talking about the map. Oh, one last thing we'll just go over while we've got a few moments is our stats for the day. These are provided by Maelstrom. He did want me to do a very quick shout out, which realistically doesn't have time, which we'll do at the end of the show. But Maelstrom does PS2 alerts. He's been doing our code for us. He's been working very hard. And as we see, I'll turn it on. We have our progress bar. This is the progress bar just going back and forth. Inside will be text. It's signifying base saves and base takes if we don't catch it on stream. We also have our kills, deaths and TKs. These are cumulative across the entire Empire in gold, and then specific teams in purple and blue. So purple would be Connery because they're playing VS, and obviously Freedom Team NC would be Emerald. Some other stats we've got. We have, and now these won't show because obviously there's no stats being recorded at the moment. We have a map timeline that will show base flips as it goes along, so you'll see that when we start. We have a kill graph that's showing one person, but we'll see more. And then we have a leaderboard which has been revamped with a search feature, a bunch of few other kind of cool tools and whatnot. So we'll bring that up and show the game. I'm expecting to see the Orion today, but you know, it's Connery. Nothing would surprise me if it was something else, but we'll see. Okay, now that being said, we've got the stats out of the way. We'll show that in game as we proceed. We have about 2 minutes, so I'm just going to show the intro video, and then we will go into our final countdown with Justicia.
Where we come from, We each fight for loyalty, for freedom, or perhaps enlightenment. But not here. Here we cast aside our disparate beliefs, our barriers and preconceived notions, and band together as a global force to engage in some of the largest competitive battles this world has ever seen. We are the squads, the platoons, the empires and servers, full of players coordinating a complex game of strategy and tactics. This is where combined arms happens. This is where war comes to play. This is Server Smash.
Thank you, Radlock, as always, the best voice in show business.
This is the station I'll call 1 minute before match start.
You heard it, 1 minute. I'm headed off to the NC Warp Gate. You headed off to the VS one. I will be
here. I'm going to be going to the dam.
Gurney Dam. Okay. I'll see what goes on then. Maybe a little bit to the north. Have a look at Gurney Dam and also have a look at Treehouse of Horrors. I'm curious to see what, if anything, goes on there. Because some teams have ignored it entirely, and other ones have seen it as the gateway into the enemy territory in the south.
And of course, Lanzer will be trying to follow our air battles and keep us
appraised. 30 seconds.
How are we doing, Lanzer? Are we all good, ready to go?
Yeah, we're fine.
So, do you keep the air as one team? We've got 16 seconds here, or do you kind of split them up as they go wherever they're going?
Alright, so everybody, get ready. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, go, go. Good luck.
And we are then live with our first game of round 3, Emerald versus Connery. And off we go. First wave death ball.
It's worked a lot before, and that's what they're kind of doing right now. Then again,
the Reaver Force, I think, is splitting into 2 waves going north and south.
And already we've had 4 suicides.
A large spearheaded southwest.
4 suicides already. That's nice, man. That's nice.
It's a huge Mossy wing. Or not Mossy, Reaver wing.
Yeah, the scythes, there is a large force of them headed to the dam. They're crossing over the
It's like they want to go to Nason's Defiance Gurney Dam. We're going to meet here.
That's exactly where they're about to meet. You're about to see
the center of the map again.
Are they going to bail out or are they going to fight? Because I actually wouldn't mind seeing some fighting because it's a neutral base the first 2 minutes. Wow, it's a massive drop on the cap point!
It was strictly just to drop out over A. So,
well, Emerald gets himself control of the cap point. How long though? I mean, we see Connery forces coming in from the northwest. The thing is, the first 2 minutes don't really matter that much, so I don't see why you would want to drop on the base so quickly. You'd want to help keep air control in the skies.
And unfortunately for Connery, this is just more bad news, as this always happens. They have been completely interdicted at a con data hub. Again, there is almost an entire platoon here of Emerald forces, and whatever forces that Connery sent were just simply not enough to take this. They are being interdicted by, there are 2 galaxies up and plenty of people.
Because the biolab's such a quick capture, they only need to be there for about 2 or so minutes, and that's all that matters. Well, they need to hold on for 4 minutes, but then after that, we'll see.
So Connery Air Force is at Treehouse, and Emerald Air Force went to Nason's Defiance and Gurney Dam.
It's kind of a hodgepodge. Wow, that galaxy died quickly. The high up, we see Emerald Air Force, but down low we see reinforcements for Connery beaconing. They really want Gurney Dam. I mean, they're really bringing reinforcements with galaxies and squad beacons.
Looking at the map right now, we have Emerald entrenched at Kessel's Crossing, very large force there. As I said, they are interdicting at a con data hub. However, they have a small force at construction site Beta, and Connery outpops them there. Nason's Defiance, as you said, is going for Emerald, and it's about a 50-50 fight at Gurney Dam. And they are out. Connery is outpopped at Treehouse of Horrors, and that it seems to be falling in Emerald's favor as well. However, Connery has a very large force down at Four Fingers right now, trying to move that cap forward. I'm going to head down there right now.
So, lots of motion sensors and tracer darts being fired by Emerald still at Gurney Dam. They've reached that 2-minute marker where it now goes into their favour. So now is the time, if Emerald, if Connery wanted to attack, is when they would push. But I'm not seeing any spawns. And I wonder, do you see the Thunder? Okay, there's some beakers from it now. They're getting picked off from Emerald. The Emerald's got air control. Now the question is, while this fight is raging on, has anyone brought in Thunder spawns? And it doesn't look like it, no. So this is all an infantry fight and reinforcements. No Maxes. Maxes usually being shunned these days, believe it or not, because they're too expensive on resources at 450 when with no boosts. Wow, I wonder if anyone would actually spend money on a boost. That's an interesting idea to get an advantage. Anyway, it's your money. So, without any boosts, Maxes take up a huge amount of 450 resources, preventing you from grenades, C4ing and mining and all that other things that are nice during a surface smash. So if you can get away with a fight during infantry, that would work. But in this instance right now, with Galaxy reinforcements, it would really help. Oh, see this Galaxy is landing the...
Side Lambda.
There, it's finally killed. Oh, he's still
They're
alive.
trying to duke it out. Nope,
There's a landed Galaxy. Oh wait, hang on. We see lots of scythes. Go ahead, Lanza, you were saying?
So there's a pretty good duking session going on between the two respective air forces, and no clear victory.
Over Gurney Dam?
Yep. Yeah, actually, it's over Gurney Dam.
It is
I'm seeing
now
a lot
1
of
minute.
Sykes and Reese corpses.
So
It is
Detroit,
now
guys.
1 minute until Treehouse of Horrors caps in favor of Emerald.
So Detroit, everybody who's watching the statistics, can you please refresh your pages or else your kill history doesn't work?
Yes. It's one of the many. It's not good enough, Maelstrom. Why is it not working, Maelstrom? Where's my colour-specific items on the vehicles, Maelstrom? But you know what? We'll get back to that later. Back to the stream itself. 19, 18, 17 seconds, and Gurney Dam will fall to Emerald. It looks like there's a last desperate push for Connery, but they don't seem to be able to get inside. They've got these lovely little kind of corner sections that are, you just simply can't grenade. You need a simultaneous push on all 4 sides. And there we go, Gurney Dam falls, and is taken by... Oh, actually, I have a cheat sheet here.
Connery is putting up a really excellent fight here at Akan Southern Labs. This is a very difficult point to hold. They are staying on here by sheer force of will and medic reses, it looks like at the moment. There are a lot of vehicles, a lot of Sunderers outside for NC Emerald, and they keep on threatening to push the point, but Connery's dug in here pretty well.
So, Gurney Dam was taken by Volt on live. Specialised in infantry, they split from 3GIS, founded by 3 major platoon leaders from Watterson VS, created on the 5th of May 2014. And the focus in this smash is tactical air leadership, bus drivers, leadership tactical. Thank you very much for the person who gives me the cheat sheet. I've got all the different outfits that are taking part today, so we'll look forward to that. Right, now that Gurney Dam is out of the way, we will have a look at the map for the first time on stream and see what chaos is ensuing.
Unfortunately, the NC just finally came in here human wave style and pushed Connery off of the point at Akan Southern. I don't know that there's enough VS left here to make a push back onto this.
They seem to have one of the things about Force Commanders. The map is going to be difficult to show because the numbers don't update. But we can see in the north, Kessel's Crossing has gone in favour of New Conglomerate, that being Emerald. Awful Pit has some Vanu from Connery, and it looks like there's roughly a 50-50 fight going at Kessel's Crossing. See how it goes. Construction site Beta was or is still being ticked down. It looks like the Connery was about to take it, but it looks like now that New Conglomerate are there. So we'll go there next. The Biolab very slowly is being hacked by NC. And if they get all 3 capture points, which they can, and they get a Southern Data Hub in 60 seconds, then it'll be a free base, the Biolab for Emerald. Nason's Defiance is actually small numbers. Look at that. It's only 1 through 12 and 1 through 12. Can you have a look at Nason's Defiance and tell me what's going on? Gurney Dam, we can see that the VS have come in force. They're outnumbering 3 to 2, or 60 to 30, sorry, so 2 to 1. Treehouse of Horrors has been taken, and then construction site.
Down there, construction site Beta actually just had a large force of VS push into it, and
right, we're back. Oh, nicely done. So 2 minutes to go. All right. So they're showing their hand. They definitely want this base. Definitely lots of Vanu. And the question is it too much Vanu? Are they losing too many bases elsewhere?
And Connery has finally learned from some other people who are doing this. They have brought a harasser onto the point here of construction site Beta. This will greatly help them hold off those choke points, hold off the pushes back to the doors.
Not if he runs over all his teammates, though. That's not going to end well with him going back and forth, back and forth. Still, I wouldn't mind him being able to fire the PP outside of the door rather than firing them when they come in the door. 9 seconds to go.
Connery has made another push back into Gurney Dam. They just gal dropped onto the point here. The huge problem they have is I really don't think that Emerald's going to allow them to keep Sunders up. So they have to defend themselves from an incredibly, incredibly open cap point down here.
And the problem is also that the spawn Sunder locations are exposed in the road if you bring any vehicles from one of your previous bases, and on the top of that, the bridgeway along the whole walkway from the Sunder locations are totally exposed to enemy air. I don't see how they're going to lose construction site beta, however. Connery should get construction site beta. There's just too many of them, and without any reliable spawns for Emerald, they're just going to have to either gal in Sunder or other. Oh, nope, never mind, that's that spawn gone.
I'd actually like to win this fight.
Connery is doing an excellent point hold for what little they've been given here at Gurney Dam. The NC keep on trying to push maxes in, and they're holding on with just a single max or two in here. This looks like Fuchsia Crew and some others. They're down to 1 max on the point here. I don't see how this can possibly survive. That max just went down. We're up for some miracle res grenades now. I just think there's too many NC pushing in now.
Too fast with the camera, I apologise. Oh, the max is up! The max has been rezzed! He's on his way back down! Hey guys, I'm back! Oh wait, you brought max too. Oh, that's no fair, bro. So there we go. NC Emerald backing firm control of the capture point. 1 minute 45 until full save. And this time they have brought maxes, which will be repaired and rezzed.
You mentioned that you thought that Emerald might try and push the south. That seems to be what they're doing. They managed to get Treehouse of Horrors, and now they are directly pushing on the 2 points from there, trying to get all those small capture bases as fast as they can.
Thing is, what do you do with that large force that you used to take construction site beta? Because that was almost a full platoon. You see that Awful Pits, the fight is moved from Kessler's Crossing to Awful Pits, so pressure's there. The fight between construction site beta, well, it's between 2 large outposts, so you don't really want to fight for a large outpost when there's so many small outposts going on. A Can data hub is actually going to be NC. It's not even going to be Vanu at all. Still, they're going to be stuck at Hatcher Air Station, but pressure could be applied there, so the fighting's off Emerald's bases. Broken Vale Garrison, there's a whole platoon almost of Connery being pushed off of Can Sutherland's. And Broken Vale is actually very easy, or easier. Oh wow, the capture point's been taken over by Connery again on Gurney Dam. See the maxes and reinforcements coming in. But anyway, as I was saying, Broken Vale is easier for Emerald to take than it is for Connery to defend. And we'll talk about the remaining bases as soon as we see what goes on here at Gurney Dam. How's the air fight going on, Lanzer? Anyone got dominance?
Looks like Emerald has a slight advantage, at least in the middle of the map. But now they're duking it out over by construction site Lambda. I would say that Emerald is doing a little bit better job keeping together and keeping tight formation, but Connery is
wow. Huge air force for Emerald is swarming over Gurney Dam, but is bloating the numbers at the base. 57 to 42, but the simple fact is all the Vanu numbers are inside the capture point. I don't know why these guys are running outside. See this heavy assault right here? He has run from the spawn rooms out. Any chance of him getting res involves the medic coming up and exposing himself. That's just simply not going to happen. You want to fight at the very most at the staircase, and even then with all this air force going on in the above, I wouldn't go outside. In fact, it's outside.
I see a concerted effort from Connery, their air as being a cohesive. I think that might.
Oh, max crash from the side doors, pick them off. Nah, there goes the cap point. I think this is just going to be a rinse and repeat element. And we say it's the same outfits, it's Vault and V-Rev. As you're saying, Lanzer, go ahead.
Yeah, as I was saying, they don't really seem to be working as a scythe ball, so to speak, but they're definitely engaging, pulling back, engaging again.
We'll need to talk with the force commanders to see if Connor was able to get their air force organised. I remember there was a little bit of drama or talk about difficulty in forming an effective air wing, so we'll see how that maybe plays into the game battle. You can see that Emerald, who used to shun air force, have kind of embraced it fully, using it to good effect. VRev, by the way, in case anyone's wondering, is Vanny Revolution on live servers. They enjoy infantry stuff mostly, which is not surprising because they're actually fighting infantry now in this base, and they're one of the oldest Waterson outfits. There you go.
Connery is on the point at Treehouse of Horrors, and there is a large NC contingent trying to push on the top deck towards the point here. They have maxes, they are very well supported, and I don't know that Connery has any idea that what's coming at him.
Wow, the capture point is horrendous. And I mean horrendous. Look at all those maxes on the minimap. That's sickening. That's been washed off. Now, the fact is, Construction Site Sigma was saved and Construction Site Lambda was saved, although fighting's going on at Lambda 50-50, and there's only Vanu from Connery on Construction Site Sigma. They're still... The problem with... They're trying to push Southgate in the south, right? And I get where they're going at, but this is a 3-point base. And it's also a very, very difficult 3-point base because... Simply look at the nature of the base as it is. The teleport building is up here to the north, so to the northeast. So it's a short-ish run in general to get to Charlie. And Sunders and placements and whatnot are very difficult. They can be all over the place. But at the same time, the Bravo capture point is so close from the south of the spawn room. So teleporting around the base is very easy to make a full on push to grab a capture point. And then you've got the point in the center which you then have to hold, so that the attackers has to jerry-rig between A and B and C, and moving from A to B is extremely dangerous due to the southern spawn room. So I don't know why Connery's trying to push unless they've split their forces up and just say you guys push in the south. Still, Connery made a good push and got themselves 4 fingers. I guess fighting at Southgate just keeps pressure over their own bases, so kudos to that.
Now that Emerald has managed to secure its opening, we're seeing classic Emerald tactics here. They're basically allowing things to tick down a little bit and then dropping absolutely overwhelming force, perhaps at the last second or at the very least,
One thing that I would like you to look out for, Redlin, is this force, that the overwhelming... Oh, I see a Valkyrie. Valkyrie with Cells Camel on the capture point of Broken Vale Garrison. Looks like they're going to try and get it back. Oh, they actually have saved it. Right. One thing I want you to look for, Redlin, is this force, this overwhelming force of Emerald that comes in, is it the same force? I wonder if it's just one platoon that's acting as a sort of rapid reaction, overwhelm them. Maybe sometimes in sets of 2 squads, sometimes in just in the full force. Whether they're the fire put-outers. Or if it's different people doing it.
Interestingly, this is something that we haven't really seen from Connery before. They are down right now, but they are still sending small groups of people ahead to get things capping. Sleepy Hollow had a small force ticking it, a Con Data Hub, even Kessel's Crossing. They keep on pushing. If they can continue doing this, they can get some of this back.
Here's another interesting concept. Connery saved the capture point of Broken Vale Garrison, but unlike in previous games we've seen other teams leave the base upon a base cap and then put out another fire, perhaps there's not enough fires yet, the Connery force stayed to defend the capture point. It's a very good thing they did because they are heavily engaged in reinforcements now from Galaxies and Valkyries of the Emerald force trying to take the capture point back.
There is an air gank squad of Emerald Liberators over top of Sleepy Hollow that is going after some Galaxies from Connery right now. I don't know if you're with this, Lancer.
Yeah, I'm trying to decipher Connery's air game right now, and I think I've figured it out. But just give me a few more minutes.
Wow, Emerald just overwhelms the defenders that were in Broken Vale Garrison, and they only have 1 minute and 50 seconds until they get the point. And with this number of Valkyries, I don't know what the Valkyries are doing rather than just being perhaps cheap transport or squad transport, and the Galaxies, it's going to be very, very, very hard, as we were saying about the nature of the capture point of Broken Vale, for the Connery force to come back and save this. And this is the linchpin. When you get Broken Vale Garrison, you can apply the Air Force to help defend Hurricane Secure Storage because the capture point is super exposed to air, or you can just try and push into Connery's innards and push onto Construction Site Epsilon and then go into the kind of heartland of Connery.
Connery not having an air force to chase people off is certainly becoming a real problem for them at Treehouse of Horrors. They have Galaxies that are just bombing them indiscriminately. They can't do anything about it. They don't have enough burster maxes, and even if they put a whole bunch of lock-ons onto them, they're just Galaxies, they'll walk it off. And they've managed to get the point here, but I see these Galaxies just coming back and sticking their nose right in the doorway and taking everyone out again. They really need a small force of ESFs.
earlier when I said that Connery didn't have a cohesive scythe ball going on, I was wrong. What I found is the difference is they're hanging back. They're hanging back 2,000 meters, just sitting there like a disciplined unit waiting to sink its teeth into something. And then they push forward, they take out whatever they can, and then they pull back again. So it's almost like they're a cobra. They're just sitting there waiting for a moment.
Yeah, but they could have really used their air force to help save Broken Vale.
Absolutely. Oh. But that's just their chosen way, I guess, so far.
Well, I
They're
don't
definitely
know
staying
entirely.
together.
I don't know entirely why this Mag Rider did this, but this is a different point hold at Gurney Dam now. The VS have managed to hack a vehicle terminal, and they are pulling all manner of vehicles onto this this area. Oh no! Oh, the person who deployed the Sunder parked it in such a way that it's blocking the vehicles from getting on. This is the only place that you can get vehicles onto the main capture point area, and he's parked it in such a way that it's making it incredibly difficult for them to get vehicles over.
And with regards to Broken Vale Garrison, a little bit too few, too late. The Vanu force was able to successfully push onto the capture point at Broken Vale Garrison. However, the difference is that now they have a 4-minute base cap. So the differences are the Vanu forces here, they're set up, but they have to hold this base for 4 minutes. That's 4 minutes. Whereas the Emerald force at the end when they capture this, it was just 2 minutes. There's no air force in the skies, or okay, we see a couple sides. So I mean, there's no spawn in air force. There's no like Valkyries or Galaxies where they can spawn in reinforcements. Plenty of beacons, but they're susceptible to EMP grenades.
There is a large max crash trying to resecure for the NC at Gurney Dam right now. If you can get down here,
on my way.
It's the charge of the Light Brigade into some of these tanks right now.
Fun fact: did you know the charge of the Light Brigade was actually successful and most people survived?
Well, it wasn't successful. Most of them.
No, they survived. It was successful and most of them got out alive. It was just a myth. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, it looked like a bloody carnage.
They got it back. I didn't think they had enough people. That was at the last possible second. They must have come from both directions.
Did, because you saw the flanking forces, but it was maxes from all sides. And this is the problem with this capture point. There are 4 entry points to the Gurney Dam capture building, and I would rather see the defenders of the point, the attackers that is, not actually defend inside. Because of the air force that Emerald is exerting, it's not safe enough for Connery to fight outside. However, the base has natural choke points in the form of these 2 bridges. This kind of area here, cover on this tube and cover on this crater here, covers this bridge very, very nicely. And this bridge can be covered very, very nicely as well. So any form of crashing, you can kind of counter repulse. And then with radar motion, you can change your flanking fire and keep the enemy at a distance. Whereas if you stay just inside the capture point, the enemy comes in and your first line of fire is literally at the door. And then when Maxes charge in, it's too late then.
Looks like Connery is starting to exert a little bit more pressure on the air game. Still holding back a little bit, but they're pushing forward now and actually doing some defensive tactics, which is working out for them really well.
Emerald has moved forward onto Hatcher Air Station. They own all 3 points here, and this seems to be a relatively small squad. But this is the kind of thing where if Connery starts panicking with forces, they're going to draw more forces than they have here. And
right, which is what we were talking about earlier, and just how many did they send back to have like a small-scale fight? Okay, so so Gurney Dam, for the most part, at the moment, has been saved. I mean, the